Okay, two things before we get into this episode. At the end of last episode, I talked for a bit about how I viewed the sort of clash between the different races that we saw in the in that episode between like the orcs and the other races at large, but specifically with like Marcial kind of acting as the stand-in for elves. However, upon rewatching the episode, there was one specific thing that I either didn't notice or didn't really view as significantly initially, and I want to just kind of real quick touch on that. As our group was being led into the orc encampment, they one of the first things that happened was some of the orcs actually commented on Marcial's presence and said, "What a barbaric face." And I think that that is very interesting in highlighting just how strongly these sort of preconceived notions that the different races have about each other is, especially when it is then followed up by the presence of this child. With that line in particular standing out to me more so on rewatch, the presence of the child to then be this kind of demonstration of how these behaviors are learned, how they are taught, how these prejudices aren't just naturally existing, I thought was really well done. I thought was really well done because the child just like casually walked up to them because they were just new different people. The child wasn't like afraid of them or like didn't have any kind of like disgust or anger or hatred towards them, and it did a very I just think it did a very good job of showing kind of like prejudices in that way. And again, that one line in particular, I felt at least on rewatch really further solidified the significance of the role the child played in that whole dynamic and situation that was occurring. So that was really cool. Second thing, and this is arguably less significant or less substantial, but still something that I wanted to note, is just something about Marcial's character. At two different points during last episode, Marcial made a big fuss about people not wasting food. And I don't think it is necessarily strange or odd for people to have this kind of, belief that wasting food is bad. I don't think that that's like a super out there idea or anything. But I do think it is interesting and perhaps quite intentional that they made her somewhat dramatic in the two instances where she again made her point about how wasting food is bad. And I am curious to see in the future if we get some revelations about her past and like her upbringing. I would not be surprised to see us find out that Marcial maybe didn't come from a super well off home. I think that when you grow up with food insecurity, it then becomes a much stronger part of who you are to not want to waste food, to not like to see things that you didn't have enough of as a child, things that you had to struggle as part of your survival for when you were younger, when you were growing up. To see people take those for granted is again, it creates a much stronger emotional reaction, I think. And so I'm curious to see if that is like early hints at a deeper part of her character. So that is a much longer intro than I normally like to do with talking about this stuff. So let's go ahead and jump into episode 5 of Dungeon Meshi, starting in 3, 2, 1, go. And it looks like we are starting with the OP. So I guess something I can do real quick here is just remind folks that if you are enjoying these videos, please remember to like the video by hitting the little thumbs up button. Please remember to comment on the video, even if it's just something quick and inconsequential. It can just be something that you liked about this episode, something that you liked about my reaction to it. And it doesn't need to be super long, super complex, super in-depth, just something quick. And if you are at all able to, please do watch the video from start to finish. Like the more of the video you watch, the better it is for metrics. And again, that's what I'm talking about here is the metrics. While it's nice to see the likes, and honestly, I personally really do like to see comments on videos. I like oftentimes responding to comments on videos. Right now, this is just kind of like, hey, YouTube metrics. I'm trying to satisfy them. Help the algorithm like me. So yeah, just if you're enjoying the videos, if you want to see my channel do better, want to support me in some manner of speaking, then remember to like, comment, and a lot of creators say to remember to subscribe. But if you're liking my videos, you're probably already subscribed. So remember to like, comment, and if you can, watch the video all the way through. Thanks. And we still got a few seconds here. So another thing, just really quickly, because I think I've worn one of these in all of my Dungeon Meshi videos. So real quick, if it seems like I'm wearing the same shirt all the time, I have 5 of these. I have 5 of these shirts. I'm not like wearing like the same soiled, unwashed clothing in every single video. I promise. Now we are into it. Ooh, that looks tasty. But also, this doesn't look like we are in the dungeon necessarily. Who are you? You're in the opening. Haha, you haven't met Senshi, clearly. Kabru. This dude's just eating their food. And the small girl doesn't take kindly to it. Is that Chilchuk in the bottom left? She didn't seem to like his answer. Oh, okay. She wanted him to be bolder in his response. Okay. I'm gonna be honest. Other than Kaburu, the rest of their party seems a bit like NPCs. What is this all of a sudden? Okay, buddy. I sure don't want to end up like them. Having to eat monsters. Blah. Disgusting. How so? Dungeon's layout is shifting? Interesting. We kind of heard a bit last episode about the monsters' habitats and stuff shifting a little bit, I believe. But I don't think it's been explicitly stated that the layout has been changing. Dead. Ooh. All right, we got a good enough haul for now. Back to the surface. Yeah, I don't think we need to venture any further right now. I think we call it a day. Okay. Very okay, safe plan, smart leadership. Oh no. Ah, it was trapped. I bet the chest was trapped. A quarrel over money? I don't think that's it. A corpse retriever? Are they dead? Wait, they're dead? Oh, rip. Don't touch it. Oh, rip Chilchuck. Oh, the monster's trying to warn him, maybe. Why? Oh, what? Okay, not quite what I was expecting. Living treasure. Oh, God! She's gonna freak out. She did not want to. She did not want to deal with that. Treasure bugs. Ew. Ew. Instincts. Cool. His little sword buddy's helping him out. Don't be mean. Senshi, what are you doing? Oh, okay. No! I thought he was sorting between bugs and real treasure. I thought maybe they were mixed in with real treasure as like camouflage, but no. Of course not. They already look plenty real. Don't show its underside to us. Which means? Oh dear. Bro, I ain't de-legging a pearl necklace bug. It's like fried zucchini. Those are eggs. Shatter the nest? I'm sorry, Senshi. I don't think I'm eating that. Ugh. Chill Chuck's like, screw it. Monsters inside the dungeon generally taste better than those outside. Cool. I guess travel time? Freshness? Oh no, she's gonna like it. Or not. I can't wear necklaces anymore. The same monsters will taste better when they're from the lower levels. So they Hmm. Okay, that looks kind of good. I'll say this. It looks good. It doesn't look tasty. Is he gonna feed one to the... He's gonna walk away and feed... Are you hungry? He was just... Okay. He was just testing its reaction to the sight of it. Okay. Marcial's probably like, I knew I should have checked to see if that sword was cursed. Oh my god, they were real gems! No! Senshi, please! Oh, good. Laos came up with a name for his sword. His sword clam friend thing. Um, I don't know, though. That's not fully on Senshi. Chilchuck shouldn't have tossed it so quickly. I feel like he should have gotten an answer to the inedible thing before throwing it off of... That's on him at least as much as Senshi. Ghosts. Oops. I don't think that they'll be possessed. Ooh. Oh dear. My sandwich! No! Laos, please. He's probably gonna think it's cool. Naka. Oh, or he's gonna get fucking frozen. Boom. Ow. Is he saying my ears because they got so cold? Or because she had to make an explosion right next to his head to get rid of it? Nope. Interesting. So Fallon is an advanced magic practitioner. Oh, okay. So she's very gentle then. Okay. I kind of like her approach too, though. I wonder if she's like when Marcia was praying for the corpses earlier, she said that like she can't do as much for them as Fallon. But so I was wondering like if she was just like a priest and we're still seeing like just stuff with ghosts, but I'm wondering how wide-ranging her magic is. Yes. No, don't do that. Just be precise with your explosions. A charm? Going to make holy water? Okay. That's just because people are afraid of the dark, but continue. Okay. I'm guessing we don't have any golden beetles. I feel like Senchi's just making a Molotov of nonsense right now. It's less effect. Yeah, you're totally winging this. Holy water. What is. Hope this was worth the wait. What is. What is he doing? What. I can't wait to see what he's about to do. uh. Yeah. People were hallucinating a bit. Ain't no way. Wild. Huh? I was expecting Senshi using the holy water as a flail to be. Oh, and it's freezing over. um, I was expecting it to be a bit flashier, but with this particular instance of ridiculousness, I guess they didn't want to use much of the budget since they're doing a bunch of like slow shots. and stills. And now it's a slushy. Oh my word. I mean, you made ice cream. Exorcism sorbet to drive away evils. I Laos always has no hesitation. Meanwhile, these two always have to reassure each other. I like how Marcial's over there just swinging her legs a bit. Did he just feed some to his sword? I know his sword just got agitated a little when he showed it. I didn't see if it actually ate something. Uh, God, he's awkward. Oops. If only she were here, I wouldn't be in this mess. Oh, rip. He needs an interpreter. He didn't mean anything bad by it. Swearsies. That was a rather odd episode. So like not only hmm, I wasn't super big on the ghosts as monsters, I don't think. The handling of it was a little meh to me, but I guess it was kind of nice to see some reflections on like Fallon and what she brings to the group. And I'm also again, I imagine that Kabru character is going to come back later just because he's in the OP. Um, but at the moment, the introduction to him and his adventuring party is just kind of whatever because it feels like they showed us this group and showed us like some normal adventurers only to show how easily they fall prey to some of the dangers of the dungeon, I guess. I don't know. It it was interesting, I guess, but didn't really pull me in super hard, I suppose, is what I'm trying to say. I don't know. It was I didn't dislike the episode, but it definitely I didn't find it as I didn't necessarily find it as enjoyable as some of the previous episodes either. But even still, that's not necessarily saying it's bad because like some of the previous episodes were like really good, right? I've been really enjoying this show. And so oops. No. So to say that like I didn't care for this episode as much isn't like a huge knock on the show. Um but yeah, I don't know. I feel like this was again establishing a character that will I assume become more relevant later, and I hope that he'll become more relevant in a way that like his group and Laos's group like actually meet up and they interact with each other. And it's not just like I hope we basically what I'm saying is I hope we don't keep getting just like detours to see what's going on with that group. I hope that it's not like every couple of episodes it's like, oh, this half of the episode is going to be about Cabru and his party, and then later we're gonna switch over to Laos and Senshi and Marcel and Chilchuk. Um, yeah, I don't know. I I think that that could get old pretty quick if they do that. Basically, is basically why I'm saying that like I'm not looking forward to that. I hope that at some juncture there the two groups are going to like actually interact, and that it doesn't take us too long to get there. Um, Also though, like so to that end though, again I expect Kabaru to become a bigger character than what we saw here, just because he's in the OP. And however, his adventuring party is dead. Like, they were very clearly acknowledged to be corpses in this episode. And, like, they kind of moved him off to the side and were like, okay, a corpse retriever will probably come get them. Although, I thought the corpse retrievers were only on the first couple of floors, so I'm a little curious on why corpse retrievers would be coming down here to these lower levels to get them, but maybe they just don't come down here as often. I don't know. Little unsure about that aspect of the world building at the moment, I suppose. But speaking of the world building and the lore, the reason I'm not like feeling confused or conflicted about the notion that his party is dead is because I believe at two separate points so far in the series, we've already had characters refer to having died. Like in episode, I think in episode 2, we get a random adventurer saying something about like their first death or something like that. And then in episode 3, I believe, that was the episode where Laos got his little friend in his sword, right? Yeah, episode 3 was Living Armor. In his flashback where he got stabbed, I believe when we came out of the flashback, he said something about that being his first death. So, like, they haven't thoroughly explained it, but, like, people die in the dungeon. But they don't die for good, I guess. So, yeah, not entirely sure how that all works yet. But it does mean that, again, it does mean that I'm not confused by the fact that Kabaru and his party are corpses, despite the fact that because he's in the OP, I'm expecting him to come back. So, yeah, just to clarify, that's not why I'm like feeling super confused or conflicted. It's not like I completely missed them being referred to as corpses. It's not like I missed the fact that they're dead. It's just that, again, I feel like we've been told that death isn't the end of the story. So, yeah, there's that. And then also, we didn't just get a little bit more about Fallon, but we also, to a smaller extent, saw a little bit about the previous party members that were part of Laos's group. So I do wonder if that means they're going to come back, because again, relying on the OP here, which maybe I shouldn't be doing, but if you aren't going to, if the show doesn't want you using information from the OP to make assumptions and guess about things that are going to happen, then they should show you less in the OP. Like the characters who were previously in that party, the red-haired woman and the samurai-looking dude, like they're also in the OP. So I do wonder if we're going to see them come back at some point, either as another adventuring group similar to Kabaru's, or if they're going to come back to Laos's group. I don't know. Maybe they'll come back after Fallon is rescued. Maybe they'll be in some way part of the rescue attempt for her. I don't know. There was some little stuff in this episode. There was some okay, interesting, some nice little things in this episode. But yeah, even though there was some nice stuff overall, it just, I guess part of the reason it wasn't as enjoyable is honestly just because it wasn't as funny, in my opinion. I didn't think this episode was just, I didn't think it was as enjoyable from a humor perspective. I also, again, even though we learned a bit about like Ghost, I also just feel like the monsters and also even the subsequent dishes just weren't as interesting to me. Like I didn't like the treasure bugs. Again, I've mentioned before I'm a little prissy about some of this stuff like Marcel. So yeah, I didn't like the treasure bugs as a creature. or as a dish. Even though I thought it was interesting, I didn't like them. um, and then yeah, the dishes that were made, just like I don't know, it didn't appeal to me quite as strongly. But hopefully, as we get into the next episode, that will change. So that's where are going to go ahead and leave things off here. I do hope to see you in the next one. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Remember to check out other things on the channel if you are so inclined to do so. And until I see you in the next one, take care. Bye bye.